Hello, it's been a while since our last post. We've been busy working on the van and we've had a hard time keeping up with video editing as we're working on all these projects. This is our first project that we worked on that was physically altering the van, and we thought it was going to be a real piece of cake, real easy thing to start off with that wouldn't require a lot of tools or anything, which was to install our swivel seat on our passenger side. And it ended up turning into quite the adventure.
A whole Shayna, really.
Yeah, it was a lot. It should have taken probably no more than 30 minutes, an hour tops, if we ran into problems. And it took like 2 days and probably, what do you think, like 7 hours or something?
Definitely over 6 hours and a couple trips to the hardware store.
Yes, buying new tools. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff. So as you will see, and it was our first project working together too. So we're settling into our style of working together because we have very different approaches to doing things as we are learning in this process.
So before we could actually dig into this swivel seat project, we had to clear a place for our van to live, which is going to be behind our friend Brian and Jen, behind their house. They've been really kind to let us make their backyard our construction zone. So in order to get there and get the van to pass, we had to cut down a tree that was standing in the way. Not a whole tree, but some of a tree that was hanging over the driveway.
That sounded really dramatic.
We didn't have to fell a tree.
No, we had to trim a tree because there were branches that were blocking where we would be able to pull the van in because our van's super tall. You will see us coming into contact with Brian quite a bit. He's helping us on some of these projects, and we just wanted to let you all know that we are being responsible. Jesse and Brian work together. They see each other at least, well, probably about once a week, at least in the office, and so we figured we're already coming into contact with them in some form, so there's not too high of a risk any more than would be in our regular daily life. So just letting people know that we are taking as many responsible precautions as we can.
Yeah, and it's outside and we're not going in their house, so we're really trying to do the best we can with the situation.
Yeah.
Unless you want to get some good B-roll.
Some good what?
Some good B-roll. So you can play this sped up and go.
Hard at work. Okay, let's move on. Yay!
Hey guys, we're at the Home Depot. Got to pick up some stuff. We're going to install our swivel seat today. Taking the recommended precautions. We got our little homemade masks that we sewed up. A little short for me, but covers all the necessary places.
Mine fits.
Hers fits delightfully nicely.
Not, okay, I'm not ready to put this on. There we go.
Okay, so it fits like mine does. Yeah, she's gonna do the installation on this one, so.
All by myself.
All
no
by
help.
herself, none. Oops, that means I'm, what?
Just kidding.
Ouch. Anyway, this means I'm gonna sit back and drink a mint julep while she does some work on the van.
And make me one.
You'll get one if you do a good job.
Bring me a sandwich.
You'll get one.
That's all I'm saying.
If you do a good job. We'll see.
All right, well, if I do a good job, I'll get a julep. So at the end of this video, you'll see whether or not I'm drinking a julep.
There you go. All right, here we go. Owl. Owls. I love owls. They're my spirit animal. So we're out of the Home Depot. We bought some stuff. Yeah, just kind of a basic set of stuff that's gonna help us set up. We have very, very few tools that we own. And so all the stuff we're gonna need to get started. Okay guys, so today is like project kind of number one of actually doing stuff in the van. It's gonna be putting the swivel seat on, or at least the swivel plate on. We're gonna keep the original seats. But we think we can get like 99% done. I think we can get all the stuff done with the tools that we have. So if you look in here, there is the swivel seat plate that we got from Scopima. I think we ordered it from Agile Off-Road. That comes with like this plate and then all the hardware that you see here in this little white thing, all the bolts to bolt that down to the seat base and then the seat back on top of that. So it's going to involve removing the seat and all that stuff, and I'll show you what that means here. Because that's I think this is all there is to it. Is there are 4 bolts here, 2 in the front. I don't know if you can see that, these here. And then there's 2 more of those exact same bolts here in the back, here and here. And I think we take that off, then the whole seat should lift out, and we can set that aside, and then we can bolt that thing on and then put the seat back on. So it's supposed to be pretty simple. I'm thinking this is just like a plug and play type of project. So we'll see if we run into anything. Blind leading the blind here, because neither one of us are construction people, I don't know, or engineers, but we have a lot of good ideas and we're not afraid to waste our money. All right.
Okay.
All right.
We need
Gosh,
to get this
Shira.
out of here. How does the seat belt come out? This thing.
It doesn't come out.
It doesn't?
No.
So we just have to set it to the side with the seat
set
belt?
it right here, right behind. Yeah. Oh, hold on. There's another step, I bet. Right behind.
No, this needs to be.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Yep. Put it back on. You might have just. Oops. No.
Now you can take the chair off.
Wow, so something good to think about. If you're going to install anything under the seat, you might want to have that ready when you do this so that you can just work right down in there and not have to take it off again later on, which we might end up having to do. Also, if you guys are thinking to doing the same brand, this one tends to be pretty high quality. This is probably 3/8 of an inch steel plate, so it's really, really solid. The reason we went with this one is because it actually adds less than a lot of the other ones in terms of overall height. Oh, hold on.
What? What's wrong?
These might not work, babe. These might be off a little bit.
So we've experienced a little setback, which is really annoying. The swivel seat has 4 big bolts, the ones I took out, and basically the swivel seat itself is supposed to fit on top of those 4 bolts. And the holes don't line up quite right, so we basically need to get an angle grinder in order to take off the nuts that have been welded to the bottom of the seat so that we can drill a hole and hopefully line that up a little bit better. But we don't have an angle grinder. So we need to contact our friend Brian so that we can find when a good time would be for us to borrow his angle grinder. And until then, we're just gonna have to put it on hold.
So we're missing two of the bolt holes don't line up. You can see that here and here. I don't know if you want to get a shot of that, but both in here where the swivel plate mounts to the box that the original stock box at the seat did mount on before, and then of course when we put it back together so anyway, you can see how here it doesn't match up. So I think what we're going to do now, these drill down into this plate underneath which there is a nut that's welded on. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make this rear hole that doesn't match up, we're going to drill into this steel plate and make it bigger, and then just put a washer and a bolt over it, and then screw that right in, thread it right into that bolt that's already welded there. I wonder if I can just drill over. I don't think that's going to work.
Well, no, I saw what you're doing. You're taking.
This is not how this tool is meant to be used.
It is working though.
I don't know if it'll fit yet. I'll line up these holes. No, not quite. Look at that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, real close.
It's getting close. This is
Smells warm.
not the intended. Yeah, it smells warm. The motor smells warm, like it's being a little overworked.
Right.
Bam!
Yeah, boy.
All right.
Swivel it.
Yeah.
All right, one more to go. Oh, Moxie wants to play. Yeah, not right now, Moxie. Because that thing is not my favorite thing to touch. Yeah. I'm providing a counterweight for Brian while he drills.
Yeah?
To which he said, stand harder.
Does that mean you put your hands on the ceiling and push down? Oh, wait, you can't.
I can't even touch the ceiling when I'm standing on top of a board that's on top of the swivel seat. I can touch the beam.
We're gonna go get a rotary file bit and just drill it out, because normal drill bits aren't designed to work in a lateral direction. Imagine that.
Can't do it sideways. Can't drill sideways.
He made some like really weird like shadow vowel. What did he say, babe? Vinache? Yeah, like a really
Oh yeah. Oh,
Vinache.
Well, he used to put those shadow vowels in everywhere.
Oh yeah. And,
all those Italians.
And Jesse was like, oh yeah, the Italians do that all the time.
Yeah, and it's not even cha, it's cha. Whatever vowel allows them to sound.
Get up there. Make that sound.
And he's going, like, he's full adrenaline at that point too.
Right.
That it's just like whatever's coming out. Yeah, whatever comes out of his mouth is what you're gonna get.
Okay, I think I found what we need. 2 rotary file bits. There you go.
All right, we got this guy so that we can just remove as much metal as possible, hopefully. Because, I don't know, here, take a look. So right now we've kind of drilled a bunch of small holes to remove some of that metal, but we just didn't have a great solution for getting rid of the rest of it, because we were using our drill bits in a way that it wasn't really designed for. So now we're gonna just grind away at this thing if I can get it open, which is a big if at this point. There we go. Hi, Tucker.
Tucker! Moxie! Oh my gosh, she sees the frisbees. She's waiting. Alright, here we go. What is that on there?
Torture device.
Looks like we got far enough to give it a shot, right?
Let's try it, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, well, yeah, those look plenty wide. All right, so should we try and put the seat back on?
Yeah, I bet there's not enough clearance. We gotta figure it out. So we fabricated a kind of a fix to the problem, and that was we drilled into the seat base, and then we got some washers, and we decided to just get a new slightly longer bolt and put the washers in there and not deal with adjusting the nuts that are welded onto the stock Ford seat base frame. And since we couldn't create the bevel because they didn't have any bevel tools that were the right size, that we just decided to kind of go a different way with the fix. Well, now the bolt sits above. The original bolts that were sent with the scooping the seat base are designed to sit flush, so that the bolts that go through the seat onto the top of the seat plate to hold the seat on, because it's two plates that swivel on each other, can have that bolt head, which is not a countersunk and flush sitting bolt. So we have to adjust our plan. You can hear her back there, she's grinding away. So now we're basically freehanding the countersink bevel so that those bolts can lay as flush as possible so that we can have a working seat. As you can see, we're freehanding this bevel.
Thanks, dude.
With a rotary rasp, trying to get it so that those bolts sit
Hey, good
flush.
job.
Huh?
Good job.
Yeah, you know, bit by bit.
Amazing what happens when you have the right tools.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh yes. Better wait for you to stand on it.
Stand heavier.
Yeah, stand heavier, Brian.
Stand harder.
And we're going to see how it matches up when we put the bolts in. Yeah, just grind it off there underneath the bolt. It won't affect the strength of it because those threads aren't holding anything. There's no friction there, so I'm going to try and shave that off on all four because these bolts don't fit super flush.
This is attempt, I don't even know how many at this time.
Well, we just got to knock off
a little height.
the tiniest amount on
Yeah.
each screw.
And then the last thing we have to do is cut this little, I don't know if you can see that, this little, I think it's a child safety latch thing that has to be on there because that hits this base part here when it swivels, so it can't swivel around. So once we get this back cut off, then we should be able to swivel freely.
That's hot.
Yeah, warm.
So easy.
All right.
Moment of truth. Does she swivel? Booyah!
Have a seat facing backwards. Yeah. How's it feel?
So great.
Doesn't look comfortable.
How about this?
That'd be better.
That's even worse. How about this?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Really want to train.
We're gonna leave you here. We need to eat this pizza.
It's time to eat this
starving.
pizza.
All right. Have a good night, y'all. So as you can see, our adventure with this project kind of changed throughout the course of the 2 days. It might not be entirely clear what we ended up doing, so we just want to clarify real quick. We took a rounded rasp bit, I don't know if that's the official name for it, but that's what I'm calling it, and we extended the holes in the swivel seat to the side a little bit so that they would line up with the base. Then we
Then we had to take that and actually bevel down because the bolts that they send you are countersunk so that they sit flush. They didn't sit flush with just round holes, so we had to bevel them out by hand. Well, she beveled them out by hand with her artistry, so that they sit basically flush now. That allowed the seat to swivel because the other bolts in between the two plates go up into the seat and no longer run into each other now with that flush on the bottom. And we did our research. We did contact Scopima and asked them if, being that we got a new 2020, I wanted to make sure that the bolt patterns would match. They said it should fit just fine. We don't know if it's a fabrication issue or if it's a factory assembly line issue on Ford's end. It just, whatever happened, they didn't fit, so we had to adjust.
So be aware of that if you're planning on purchasing one, that this could happen to you.
Yeah.
If this did happen to you and you had a different way of approaching it, please say something in the comments so we can kind of get an idea of how people are approaching these things, and if the way we did it was kind of good or maybe not so good. I don't know. We just figured at the end of the day it'd be better to alter the piece we ordered than the original piece, because we can always replace that. So if y'all enjoyed this video, please subscribe and stay tuned for what we got coming up next. We get to cut holes in the van, so that'll be a real fun one.
Oh boy.
See you next time.